Apparently there is a plugin in RUNELITE that allows you to track almost every single training method in old school RuneScape and how much money you're making per hour. I personally used it a lot to figure out how much my Slayer tasks are worth. It was a nifty tool to use during necreals to figure out how much I spend on runes and potions versus how much I make from drops. But I didn't realize how deep this plugin goes. First of all, it automatically tracks everything that goes into your looting packs, fish barrels, herb sacks, gem bags and much more. So for instance, you can figure out how much money per hour is herbivore, a method that usually isn't done for money. Or maybe you're doing wilderness posters and you need to find out how much money per hour Venenatis is for you. And this includes everything that's inside the looting pack as well. It even factors in all your weapon and armor charges into the profits, so you get the exact number you're looking for. Furthermore, one of the things I really like doing is star mining, and the plugin takes into account even untradeable items like stardust and calculates that into gold per hour. Plus, it has a cool animation next to your experience drops showcasing exactly how much gold you made. It is such a cool plugin, and it single-handedly made me wonder what are some other cool features in this game that you could take advantage of. So without further ado, here are my 12 old school RuneScape facts that you should definitely know about. But before we get into that, I have an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, I have something very special for you today. Have you ever watched one of my videos and an ad pops up and you see some crazy gameplay footage of a video game? Well, believe it or not, all of it is absolutely real. And it's called Hero Wars, the sponsor of today's video. Hero Wars is an absolutely amazing online RPG game, and you can find access to it through your mobile phone on App Store, Google Play, or even play it on your computer. Whether you enjoy charming story mode with over 130 missions, you wanna jump into battle in arena against other players, or you wanna test your luck in roguelike tower mode where you have to climb all 50 floors to earn the maximum reward. All of it is available to you. There are a total of 6 different modes in Hero Wars, and the best part is there is currently a Christmas event going on where you can earn tons of rewards by going through the advent calendar and the free battle pass accessible for all players. Decorate your own Christmas tree, get awesome gifts and find out the newest story of the mysterious Dominion. My personal favorite reason for playing this game is very simple. Just like in old school RuneScape, I enjoy that the developers constantly keep this game updated and most importantly, listen to their community. Not only does this game have beautiful 2D graphics and very fun gameplay, Hero Wars also has insanely deep and rich lore to explore. By the way, Nexters just released a completely new animated short video called The Lost Hero, where the two main characters Galahad and Aurora battle against the villain Archdemon, until there is an unexpected turn of events that you just have to find out yourself. It's a really great twist on the classic hero story. I highly recommend you go check it out. Click on the pinned comment down below to watch it yourself right after you're done with my video. And what are you waiting for? Join the 100 million active players currently playing Hero Wars by clicking my link in the description, or scan the QR code you see on your screen and receive 5 of the best heroes in the game, 600 emeralds and 30,000 gold immediately. This is your chance to become a hero. Thank you so much to Hero Wars for sponsoring this video. Since we're already on the topic of RuneLite plugins, let me show you how you can make your AFK fishing and woodcutting and mining better experience. Let's take something like Anglerfish, a good AFK fishing spot for decent GP per hour. Now there is a plugin called NPC Idle Timer, and it works for fishing spots. What it does is approximately tell you when a fishing spot could change. The first thing you need to do is type in Rod Fishing Spot into the plugin, and this is specifically for anglerfish. The fishing spots for things like infernal eels, sacred eels, maybe barbarian draining fishing might be slightly different timers and spots. And finally, you need to put in the first timer, which is 300 seconds, and the second low value timer, which is around 240 seconds. The second timer is when the spot could start changing locations. As you can see right here, the timer also goes red, indicating that at any moment the fishing spot will move very soon. But if you're lucky, you could run the entire timer to 0 before it changes as well. It's just a small indication telling you how long the timer lasts until a potential change could happen. And the same thing can be applied to woodcutting and mining as well. For that, there are already specific plugins made, which are 3 despawn timer and RuneLite Rocks respawn timer. The 3 timer will tell you approximately how long it's gonna take until the 3 despawns, and it takes into account all the other players around you as well, which is a nice tool for doing forestry events with other people. And my final RuneLite tip before we move on is this. During Soul's Pain quest, one of the most annoying parts for me was identifying which monster is the correct one. But there is a RUNELITE plugin called Better NPC Highlight, and if you tag the ID of this monster under 1067, it shows you the exact correct NPC you need to attack every single time. In fact, this can be used in multitude of places. One place where players always struggle is the famous bog from the Swampletic series, and how it takes such a long time to complete compared to every other event happening in this minigame. Well, just like in Soul's Pain, the bog has identifiable tile every single time you enter, so you can just skip through it on your first try. And these are just simple methods. You can go as hard as, for example, identifying the Nylas in the room that are aggressive during your DOB runs. You can even set up the explosive baboons in Baba room with radius markers, or maybe even highlight the cracked boulder in Baba's room itself. Basically, every single thing in Old School RuneScape has an ID attached to it. And if you find out what that ID is, it can make your life a lot easier. There are a few websites that I'm not gonna name which have almost every single NPC ID available, and there is even a plugin called Identificator, which after downloading you can hover over anything in the game and it immediately tells you the ID of the object or the NPC. So for example, this tree in Lumbridge is ID number 1278 and Hans is 3105. Okay, enough about RuneLite features, let's talk about bosses. The next tip goes out to one of my friends who was struggling with the Song of the Elves final fight. But maybe there's something to take away here for everyone, because what I'm about to show you is a common game mechanic that allows you to dodge massive amounts of damage. The main thing players struggle is the final phase in the fight where you take insane damage for no apparent reason. But there is a way to neglect all of that damage, and here is how. Once you get to the phase where the massive damage is about to come in, you equip your Phoenix necklace, and just 1 second before Seren attacks with a massive attack, you hit a Nightshade, which procs the Phoenix necklace and will neglect any damage taken from the boss. This is very forgiving. It seems like you're about to die, but trust me, you have like 2-3 seconds to react to this. Just pay attention when Seren rises to the air, and that's when you eat the Nightshade. And instead of taking up to 90 damage, you only take 15, which makes the fight so much easier. Keep in mind, for Iron Man you do need 63 farming for Nightshades, but this can also be achieved with rock cakes or locator orbs, and the outcome will be the same. Congratulations on completing Song of the Elves quest super duper easy. Okay, let me show you something fun. In Varrock next to the East Bank, there's a Gleaner who is sweeping casually, and if you drop ashes next to him, he will run up to those ashes and sweep them up. I tried this for like almost an hour to lure him over to the wilderness, but there seems to be a limit in where he can go before he turns back. To me, it looks like the Gleaner has exact same code as the Defender role in Barbarian Assault, where you also drop food on the ground and lure them over, because oftentimes the Gleaner just ignores the ashes in front of him and just goes for the furthest one, just like during the Defender role, but this time you unfortunately can't kill him. I also trapped the Gleaner into a room and just dumped inventories of ashes on the ground to see if it would clean them all up. And to my surprise, he did. It took a little bit of time, and by the end, few of them despawned, but that's a good damn worker right there. In my previous video, I showcased that you can get tasks from Wise Old Man. You can complete those tasks and get rewards for it. Well, you can do that exact same thing with few other NPCs. One of them is the Cooking Skilled NPC, but for him, you only get tasks to make your own specific pies. Romilly over here asks you to make between 4 to 28 pies, and after completing your task, guess what? You also get rewarded pies. This guy is also briefly mentioned during Desert Treasure 2, because when you type in his name into the golem, it says access denied. And if you examine him, it says a baker from the north, which is suspected that this guy is actually some sort of Saros warrior who is now in hiding. Okay, let me show you something ridiculous, which goes against the physics of the entire universe as we know. So here it goes. You can't use a vial of water on watering can to fill it. You can use bucket of water on watering can to fill it. You can also use vial of water on bucket of water to fill it. So by doing vial of water on bucket of water and then the bucket of water on watering can, you can use a vial of water to fill the watering can. Nothing makes sense anymore, and I don't know what is real. Moving on. While you have your bank open, you can use your F keys to open the bank's equipment screen. For me, that F key is F F10. So when I press F10, it opens the equipment tab immediately and I can just swap between the two to either gear up or look at my armor/weapons. Oh, and here's another tip. This is pretty much known for a lot of people already, but a good way to train your prayer is using demonic ashes with the demonic offering spell. What the spell does is give you 3 times more experience. The problem is that it requires wrath runes, which a lot of Ironmen have almost no access to. What you can do, however, is come to Fountain of Rune in Wilderness with only ashes, use them up for prayer experience, and then repeat the process. It's very similar to Chaos Altar and using bones, but the upside here is that there are a lot less PKers here, and furthermore, it's actually a lot cheaper to train your prayer here, even on main accounts. The ashes are cheaper to buy, and since you don't waste any money on runes, it's a good alternative to your regular bones to altar training methods. Now, I am using Wilderness Sword 4, which makes this so much faster, but that's also a very high requirement. If you don't have that, the best option is either Anakar, Teleport, or the level 50 Obelisk. Now, normally I love to add some cool trivia from the wiki to my videos because there are some insane stuff that nobody knows about, and just in the last month they added some cool fun facts that is basically unknown for you, for me, for everyone until now. But before we get into that, I want to give them a shout out, and if you have the opportunity, please go support them on Patreon, because I guarantee you during your gameplay sessions today, tomorrow and next week you have the wiki open all the freaking time, and guess what, someone has to run that wiki. It's honestly the best possible source for information you can find, and the guys at the Old School RuneScape wiki work really hard to make sure you have a better gameplay experience. And with that, they added a few awesome, very unique facts that not many people know, starting with these crates. Now, for the longest time players thought that these were useless, but if you click enough times, there is a chance to find an uncut topaz from these crates at 1 in 1,000 chance. In fact, this can be done on basically any crate in Old School RuneScape, and it took me approximately 10 minutes to find my very own topaz. This is actually a monumental change for Extreme 1 chunk accounts, and also accounts that have self-restrictions like area locked. There is now a way to gain topaz gems even outside Gramsha. The second one, and my personal favorite, is there was a task in Leagues 4 which requires you to make the trainer witch angry. But there's also an Easter egg where if you have a pot of flour with you while you make her angry, you lose that pot of flour for no apparent reason. This probably caused a lot of anger in day 1 of Leagues, where players tried to figure out why their ingredients for Cook's assistant kept disappearing for no reason. And finally, there is a door in Ardoin, which is one of the hardest things to open in Old School RuneScape. Even though you only need level 13 thieving to attempt it, the chances to fail at that level are 99.3%. Even at level 99 thieving, you fail about 85% of the time. And the reason is because it might have the same code as the Desert Treasure 1 chest, where you need to bypass 3 different rolls to successfully unlock. And the same scenario might be applied here as well. Funnily enough, the door is automatically opened up when you're doing a mahogany contract. If you want to see more of these cool fun facts, go visit the Old School RuneScape Wiki's Twitter page, and please go give these guys some love, because they are saving lives out here with the banger content coming out that nobody knows about. But I thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow with another one. I love you all very much. Bye.